From candies to sandwiches to cocktails and stews, New Orleans food scene really does have it all. But you do need a game plan to make sure you can fit in as much Creole food as possible. We're excited to share all of our favorite dishes with you for your next trip to New Orleans. We made it to our favorite food city in the entire United States, New Orleans. It is a place that when you come here and you want to look up what dishes you need to try, that list is like 8 miles long. So we're going to take you along with us as we try all the dishes that are famous to New Orleans that you need to come and try yourself. All right, we're kicking things off with candy because one of our goals of this trip was to try as many praline shops as possible. New Orleans pralines are these candies that are made with toasted pecans, butter, sugar, vanilla. They're absolutely delicious, but each shop has their own variation, which leads to a lot of differences in flavor and texture. Head to the link in our bio if you want all of our thoughts on each of the praline shops. This one, though, is freaking delicious. Of course, every good trip starts off with coffee and breakfast, and New Orleans has its own special variation of the two, the Café au lait and Beignets. Of course, Café du Monde is the most famous place to get beignets, so we had to start there, but we also found our own favorite place for different types of beignets. Is a Café au lait, which is basically a coffee with milk, and the coffee here has chicory in it, so it's basically just a really strong coffee with steamed milk. And then the creme de la creme, what everybody comes to New Orleans for, I think, are the beignets, which are basically these fried donuts that have tons and tons of heaps of powdered sugar on it. So the combination here of the two, how can you go wrong with this? So the beignets at Café du Monde are delicious, and they're kind of a must-do when you're in New Orleans. We actually preferred the beignets at Loretta's. They came stuffed with praline filling, which was amazing, and also had some savory options as well, like crab stuffed beignets. Next up is one of our favorite New Orleans dishes, and that is gumbo. It's such a warm and hearty stew made with the holy trinity of Creole cooking of onion, bell peppers, and celery. And then they add andouille sausage, usually shellfish, serve it over rice. It's so warm and comforting, and we absolutely loved the gumbo at Lil Dizzy's in the Tremaine neighborhood. We didn't make it long on this trip without getting a muffuletta sandwich.
So a muffuletta sandwich is on crusty Italian bread with sesame seeds on top, and it's usually grilled or pressed, which is delicious. It's got usually 3 or 4 different kinds of like meat that are like thin sliced, like deli style, and a couple different kinds of cheese. Usually provolone is one of them, and then like an olive mixture. It is so good. It is so flavorful. It's got everything on it. So this is the sandwich to get while you're in New Orleans. Well, one of the 2 sandwiches.
Our other favorite sandwich in New Orleans is a po' boy, and while they were originally served with oysters, one of the most popular variations of this sandwich is a shrimp po' boy. You can get it with either grilled shrimp or fried shrimp. It comes dressed with lettuce, tomato, pickles, and remoulade, which really brings it all together. But the original thing that made a po' boy was a hollowed out, soft, pillowy bread with a crusty exterior. Absolutely delicious, especially at Lil Dizzy's, where we went back to get a second po' boy. It was delicious. Next up is Étouffée, another warm and cozy seafood stew.
Étouffée has the holy trinity of Cajun cooking in it, starting with onions, green bell peppers, and celery. And then a lot of times there's usually some kind of seafood because of course we're right on the coast, so ours today has crawfish in it. However you do it, it's always delicious. So this is no exception. Just a nice bowl of this, usually served over rice or grits, is like the perfect lunch here in NOLA.
Of course, we had to get our étouffée with a little bit of Boudin sausage on the side. This sausage is made using rice that has also been flavored with the holy trinity of Cajun and Creole cooking. It also has lots of spices, so it makes it really spicy, and it's absolutely delicious. It actually surprised me by how much I loved it. We visited during Mardi Gras season, so you know we had to get a king cake, which is basically a coffee cake and a cinnamon roll mixed together. I mean, how can you go wrong? Plus, it's topped with icing sugar in Mardi Gras colors. Traditionally, somebody finds a plastic baby in their piece, which means they have to make the next cake or throw the next party, leaving for unending celebration. We didn't find a plastic baby, but we did demolish our slice of cake. The next NOLA dish may have been the most intimidating to us, or at least the most intimidating to me. This is crawfish, or crayfish, crawdads, mudbugs. They have a million different names, but they're basically freshwater crustaceans. Luckily, the folks at Pralines Seafood helped us out by teaching us how to split the crawfish, twist it, suck out the head, and enjoy the meat that comes with it. It was absolutely delicious, and Phil absolutely destroyed a whole bucket full of crawfish. While Phil was enjoying his crawfish, I ordered one of my favorite dishes, barbecue shrimp. It's buttery, spicy, and loaded with garlic. Plus, they give you quite a bit of French bread to soak up all of the sauces. I could seriously bathe in a vat of that barbecue shrimp sauce. It is so good. When you visit New Orleans, you have to check out Calas Café. We just happened to be walking by and were immediately drawn in by the bright colors and the energy of the chef at the place who taught us all about Calas, which is a fritter similar to a beignet, only it's made with rice and some other spices instead. This one is served with lemon curd and it's absolutely delicious. Plus, we got to hear all about the unique history from Chef Brandon himself.
Calas represents the story of enslaved West Africans who made that journey to New Orleans in the 1800s as a part of the transatlantic enslavement experience. They were known as Calas women and men who sold the dish on the streets of New Orleans as a popular street food of the time. The money that they earned from the sales of Calas, they used that money to purchase their freedom here in New Orleans from the Spanish, under the Spanish rule, through a process known as manumission. When you're visiting New Orleans, please stop into Calas Cafe, and we'd love to see you and share the historic significance of what we do over here at Calas Cafe. Wow!
We've made it to our first cocktail on the list, and that is the Sazerac, which you can actually try for free at the Sazerac House, a museum fully dedicated to the drink itself. The Sazerac is made with rye whiskey, absinthe or herb saint, sugar, and Peychaud's bitters, which are actually from New Orleans as well. Okay, it's like a shortbread cookie. When giving my review of the drink, I somehow went on for a very long time about it, comparing it to a shortbread cookie, but just know it is similar to an old-fashioned, just with some additional herbal flavors. Now on to what may be the official drink of Bourbon Street, the Hurricane. So a Hurricane is the official drink, I guess in addition to the Sazerac of New Orleans, but it's not really our thing. It's a little too sweet for us, so we're sticking to some other fun cocktails while we're in New Orleans. Okay, we're sellouts, I know. A Hurricane is made with rum, several fruit juices, simple syrup, and grenadine, making it pretty sweet. We prefer to stick to some other cocktails. And while this isn't a specific food item, New Orleans' dining scene is loaded with fine dining options, so if your budget and itinerary allow, it may be worth checking into one of those too. We're more casual people, so Mr. Mouse was perfectly upscale but still casual too. While we didn't get it on this trip, Jambalaya is a must for New Orleans cuisine. It is a savory rice dish that is flavored with stock, loaded with andouille sausage and seafood. It is a delicious New Orleans comfort meal. While we made it during Mardi Gras and thus king cake season, we did not make it during snowball season. So Hanson's Snow Blizz was closed. But if you visit during the summer or the warmer months, make sure to get a snowball. We've had them before and they're absolutely delicious. And finally, Oysters Rockefeller, which we also missed on this trip, but they're oysters loaded with butter, herbs, breadcrumbs, and then broiled. Truly an exceptional dish. We hope that you enjoy New Orleans as much as we do. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to our channel as we explore all of the food cities across the United States and beyond. Plus, check out our New Orleans travel vlog to see us stumble upon a Star Wars themed Mardi Gras parade. See you next time. Bye. Gumbo, but it is so with tomatoes. Is that what it is?
What?
So with tomatoes, is that the difference?
In gumbo?
Y'all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. So it's 163 years old. It's almost as old as you.